Nice. Hello, everyone. My name is Ștefan Chiriacescu. I'm the co-founder and CEO of e-commerce Today agency, and it's great to have you here for a webinar. The webinar we have prepared for you today is about AI, and it's actually entitled "The AI Advantage for E-commerce." We brought to you today proven tools that have helped our clients increase their sales and have helped our clients scale in the last couple of years, and they can help you as well in 2026. Um, what we're going to be talking about today is why AI matters, and I'm not talking about the fluff. I'm talking about actionable tools that you can actually use in order to make a difference for your store, for your operation, and for your bottom line, for the actual profits. We're going to be talking about growth challenges that online stores are having that pertain to this to AI solutions and AI tools. We are going to have presentations of Diver, Accurate, and ZipChat on the call today, and they're just going to explain to you how clients are using. So it's going to be an educational process, how they're using their tools. And in the end, we're going to have a panel discussion in which we're going to be talking about the future of AI in e-commerce and how we feel that's going to happen. And between ourselves, I think we have close to 1,000 clients, if not even more. So we tend to speak about this quite a lot and hear a lot of opinions. And I hope you find our thoughts interesting and useful for yourselves. On the webinar today with me, we have Tudor from Accurate, we have Luca from ZipChat, and Octavian from Diver. Guys, if you wanna just one by one, just say a couple of words about yourselves, that would be awesome.
Sure. Should we go in the order in which you
Yeah.
introduced us? Yeah. Okay. Great. So, hi everyone. I'm Tudor. I'm the CRO and the co-founder with Accurate. We're a Romanian-German startup doing personalization. Started 2022, and we serve hundreds of customers, and we have some experience with this AI part for e-commerce.
Thank you, Tudor. Thank you. Luca.
I
Uh,
was on mute. I was on mute. Classic mistake. Everybody, I'm Luca Boreani, CMO and co-founder of ZipChat. I've been into online marketing, e-commerce since more than 10 years at this point. I started back in the days at university. So I kind of saw lots of things, both as e-commerce operator and then afterwards running e-commerce softwares. And ZipChat, we'll talk about it later. So I'll not dive into it.
Thank you, Luca. And Octavian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Octavian, CEO and co-founder of Diver AI. We are automating the product listing part, which is, let's say, the part that people less talks about. I started this project because I have almost 20 years of experience in building e-commerce platforms. So don't get fooled by how I look, but I'm a bit older. And we at Diver we are trying to make this process of product listing and enriching content of the products much easier. But I'll talk more about that later on in the presentation.
Thank you so much, Octavian. Thank you for the presentation. So each and for everyone on the webinar right now that have joined us live, they will all present their solutions. But how did we find Tudor and Octavian and Luca? We found them because we work with them, because we have common clients, and their solutions are tried and tested. E-commerce today, our agency is a full service e-commerce managed services agency, which means for our clients, we try to be their like an extension of their e-commerce department or their e-commerce department. And this means oftentimes we have to find solutions for problems. not oftentimes, every day we have to find solutions for problems. And um, some things we can resolve on our own, but for most client requests, we need to use services and solutions and tools. And the market is flooded with all sorts of AI powered tools out there, or AI is just a very fancy word. But in the end, what we have learned was that we had to test a lot of solutions, and we still have to test a lot of solutions and services over the years. And the solutions we are going to be presenting and talking to you about today are solutions that are tried and tested, that actually make an impact, a positive impact, and they help our clients. So whether we talk about migrations of data and improving conversion rate, and we do that through enriching our product data for our clients, which is something that Diver typically helps us with. Or we talk about personalizing the customer experience on the website in terms of showing relevant products to visitors, or having a great customer experience with AI powered chat. That's where Tudor and that's where Luca actually helps our clients with their solutions as well. In the end, the point I want to get across is that you're basically going to be learning today how and why we believe these solutions are successful for our clients. And I really hope that you're going to find them useful for yourselves as well. Um, and just before we actually move into the solutions themselves, we're going to talk about why AI matters. And there's some interesting numbers. 80% of e-commerce brands plan to adopt AI tools by 2026 for their general operations in order to improve the customer experience. AI helps increase conversion rates by up to 25%, AI-powered tools, that is. And personalization drives repeat purchases and higher average order values, which is basically um, what we are actually trying to all do. Prepare a better customer experience for our customers, because in the end, everybody knows one thing: the customer acquisition costs today are at a record level. It has never been in the history of e-commerce so expensive to acquire new customers. So what you do with the existing customers that you have, or what you do with the customers that you paid most of the times more than you were actually able to get out of for that first time customer that came to you through Meta or Google or TikTok or whatnot ads. It's important to provide them with a personalized experience, a great customer experience, so that they come back to you for order two, order three, order four, but this time not through a remarketing campaign. This time they come to you through your own powers. Um, what challenges these solutions that we're going to be discussing about today are actually helping to solve for our clients, and what challenges you may be looking to have in 2026 is going to be even higher customer acquisition costs. This is not only due to a competition, the fair competition of like-minded or like-sized brands, but the competition of big players that are entering every single market out there, not just Romania, but most countries are facing the power of companies like Temu that are stepping in and creating a lot of competition. So higher and higher customer acquisition costs, which mean goes back to what I was saying earlier. You absolutely must have a great customer experience, so that once you pay for a customer, for that customer to place their first order, you must be able to retain that customer. Other challenges are going to be around limited personalization. Businesses are understanding how important personalization is, and they are adopting it. If you're not adopting it, you're going to get left behind, and you're not going to be able to offer that great customer experience. So limited personalization is going to be another challenge in 2026. Inefficient manual processes. Manual processes are not only prone to human error, but they are also extremely inefficient. And AI is not here to, at least in our opinion, is not here to replace us, but it's here to help us make a much better job in terms of presenting better data, analyzing a lot of data, acquiring and perfecting our product listings. If we don't use it, we are going to have to become obsolete because other companies are going to be using it to enrich their product data. And last but not least, data siloing between marketing, sales, and operations. It's no longer possible to function properly if SEO isn't talking with email marketing and with SMM and with PPC, and if your sales manager and product manager are not involved in the marketing calendar, and God forbid you should have a marketing planner. If you don't have a marketing planner where everybody has their columns and their responsibilities and everybody pitches in, you after this call, please go ahead and just do that. Reach out to us if you need help. We have templates that we share with our clients for clients that don't have that because everybody just talks marketing. Data silos. If data is still siloed in 2026 for your business, it's going to be a big problem. And this is where the solutions that we are going to be talking about today actually step in, and they help us out by helping us with engagement. So engaging and converting our visitors, improving our customer experience, reducing manual work and errors, and turning data into smarter decisions. For engagement and conversion of visitors, we are going to hear from Luca and Tudor. Improving the customer experience, that's going to be all three of them because all their solutions are actually impacting the customer experience on site. Reducing manual work and errors, that's going to be mostly Octavian, but also Tudor is involved in that place because historically you would be making product recommendations manually, but right now with his solution, you can actually remove the manual work and the manual processes. And turning data into smarter decisions, that's actually going to be something that all three solutions are tackling. And um, I've already spoken quite a lot, and people tell me I talk a lot, so I want to stop talking right now. And I want to give you guys the floor and control of the slides, by the way. And let's start talking about how your solutions are helping clients have a better, are going to help clients to have a better 2026. Octavian, Diver.
Thank you, Stefan. So from my side, every e-commerce business faces the same bottleneck. Messy supplier data, slow onboarding, incomplete listings, poor SEO, broken operations, which lead to lost revenue. Product information management software and e-commerce platforms cannot fix the upstream chaos. Copywriting tools don't solve mapping, taxonomy, or normalization, and manual work simply doesn't scale. So Diver AI was built to eliminate all these friction points entirely. Now, Diver automates the entire product data lifecycle: ingestion, normalization, enrichment, classification, translations, curated images, and ready to publish listings. Here's what makes us different. We have a hybrid AI engine. We have deterministic rules for precision where they are needed, plus generative AI for filling the gaps and SEO-rich content. We have configurable workflows. We have a flexible AI workflow engine tailored to each brand, retailer, or marketplace. We have an AI-guided quality control, so we flag only what needs to be reviewed, reducing the quality assurance time dramatically. And we have a living product data environment, so every processed listing makes the entire system smarter. The impact is immediate. 90% faster time to market, up to 70 times more efficient operations, and 60% lower content cost. Diver is not a PIM solution, and it isn't a copywriting tool. It's an AI-powered product data onboarding built for scale, accuracy, and automation. Here's a real example of impact. A marketplace merchant improved product content quality using Diver. So titles, descriptions, specifications, localization, and SEO optimization. The result, we have a 300% growth in ad-driven sales. And why is that? Because ad engines and search engines reward richer, cleaner, more complete product data. This is why Diver isn't just an operational tool, it's a revenue engine. Now, in categories like furniture, we go beyond text. Diver generates lifestyle product images, including with or without people. In this case, we have with people, from simple catalog photographs. This removes one of the biggest blockers for brands that want to scale into marketplaces requiring rich visual content. This also applies to categories like consumer goods, fashion and apparel, beauty and cosmetics, or electronics. Product data should never slow down a business again. Diver exists for one simple reason: to make product data stop being the thing that slows it down. We make every product launch fast, every listing accurate, and every catalog scalable automatically. That's the promise, and that's what we deliver. So thank you.
One thing that I want to ask you, because we've also worked with you on some projects where people may not know your product can actually step in and help, and that is with data migrations in terms of people being on some obsolete CMSs. I don't know, Magento, for example, or WordPress, WooCommerce, and wanting to move into some more like new world technologies, let's say Shopify, for example. Just examples, I'm not pointing fingers or anything. And, data migration is always a pain. And it's not just necessarily a pain, but with you guys, when we actually decided working with you on several projects with this, it wasn't just a matter of migrating data from A to Z, because what we found was that in the old archaic systems, you also had customers had hundreds of product attributes, a mess. Size was, you had black in all caps, black with capital B and then smaller letters. The brands were duplicated and so on. So data was a complete mess. And normally, on a migration process, you just migrate the data from one place to another. You don't do a cleanup. But what did you guys? What is your experience typically with migrations?
Actually, the migration use case was a discovery for us. We didn't think that was going to be a use case for us. But because we can have websites and data feeds as data sources for our engine, the migration is pretty easy with Diver. So basically, what we can do, we can connect directly to the old platform and browse it like a regular user would do, extract all the information in a very unstructured format, and then structure them to whatever is need for a platform like, let's say, Shopify, not giving names or something, but and this is what we are doing. This is I switched to the first slide because we are actually transforming messy product data. This is our tagline, into clean data that is ready to be used for newer platforms.
Sounds wonderful. I really wanted you to get this message across because it was a use case that came as a surprise for us as well, and a really great use case because everybody has these skeletons in their closet in terms of if you've been on the website for like 5 years on a self-hosted CMS where you can do everything and anything, you typically end up having a
There
mess.
is another thing. If people are not using are actually building their product catalog manually until now, there are so many variations. So a single category can have products defined in 10 or 15 ways instead of just one structured way. And this is what we can help with into structuring all that information so that it's top notch for the new website or for the current website as well.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Octavian, for the presentation. So, in terms of getting a much better catalog for our clients, Diver is the solution that can actually help us to do that. Not only clean up, but to then enrich our product catalogs for our clients and for our businesses, so that we can actually stand the chance in 2026 and be competitive. Um, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, let's uh, let's move on to Tudor and Accurate. Tudor, the floor is yours.
Great, thanks. Yeah, so in short, what Accurate does is showing the right product to the right visitor. It sounds very simple, but basically, when you manage to do that, you increase your chance of conversion, you increase your basket size, and the user is also happier and is more likely to come back to your shop. I think what you pointed out, Stefan, at the beginning about the cost of customer acquisition increasing is one of the main challenges that we also see with our customers. And the point is that customers are investing a lot of money in getting that traffic. Even if it's the direct traffic, you actually paid for it at some point. So either because you invested in your brand or in SEO or ads or email or whatever, all traffic costs. And the thing is that it's very hard to reduce the cost of acquisition in terms of PPC or stuff like that, or it's hard to spend less on SEO or do it 5 times better or something like that. So basically, what we're trying to do is to make sure that customers make the most out of the money that they're already spending, right? So if you bring in all that traffic and it's going into a leaky bucket, but any e-commerce website is to some extent a leaky bucket, but the less leaky it is, the better it is for us, right? So in essence, we're reducing the customer acquisition cost by acquiring more customers, and we're improving the customer acquisition cost to lifetime value by improving the number of purchases as well as the value of purchases. Um, and this is in essence what we do, and that's why we also say that it's time to focus on conversion and AOV, because acquisition is a game that is only going to get harder. You cannot not do it. That is not what I'm saying. So you should acquire visitors, but you should also focus a lot on what you do with those visitors once they get to your website. So let me briefly explain as a general concept how it works. So Accurate, basically, in order to show the right item to the right customer, we need to know a lot about what's going on. So we grab the visits, basically the whole customer behavior, what they add to the cart, what they purchase, um, what items do they choose between before purchasing, what items do they end up purchasing together. All those things basically give us great hints into how the natural behavior of customers flows, and informs basically our engine. On top of that, because we're using hybrid models, not only based on behavior, but also based on the product catalog, we look at the names, descriptions, categories, attributes, basically in order to find similarities between products, but also stock. Stock is like super important for us because imagine, so this is personalization. The way that we do it is a little bit like the sales representative in a physical shop, right? And imagine you go in and you want to buy some shoes, and the person says, oh, what are you looking for? You give them a little bit of information, and then that person says, I have exactly what you need. And then they go back and they come back out and they say, we don't have it anymore, right? So you don't want that experience at all, and that's why we take stock. Sorry. We some I had a cold like a week ago and I'm still coughing a little bit. Please excuse me.
No
But
problem.
the point is that we only recommend items that are in stock. And the way that it actually works, so you can kind of envision it, because we don't have a physical person doing anything on the website, it's via banners. So you might be familiar with widgets like other people have also bought, or you may also like, or upgrade this product to a better one. We lately have smart bundles for Shopify, for example, not to name any. uh, yeah, so basically you can add multiple products with a discount with a push of a button, and those we make sure that the whole thing happens smoothly and that those products actually fit together, right? You don't want to recommend the tires to someone who just bought an iPhone. That makes no sense, but you can recommend a charger to someone who just bought an iPhone. And on top of doing everything on the website, we actually also have connections to a lot of emailing tools. Um, we will see some logos later, but the point is we can even send those recommendations via email, which actually builds up to a very, very smooth experience. Imagine you get an email with some items from a shop that actually fit what you want, and then you go to the homepage and you see a widget containing exactly the same items that you saw in the email on the homepage, and it just makes for a very good user experience and for a very cohesive kind of experience. That's in essence how it works. Now, we at Accurate are focusing a lot on two things. The first one is easy installation. One of the big hurdles when you talk about AI tools or yeah, any kind of complex tools is that it usually takes a lot of time to install, and sometimes it's that complicated that you don't really even know where to start. And if the tool doesn't actually end up working for you, that's going to be totally lost revenue. I don't know, either in developer hours or whatever you're investing in it, it's going to be totally lost. So this is why one of our core focuses is on integrating in minutes, and we're achieving this on multiple CMSs. We can be live in minutes. And to also highlight this, we have just received our Built for Shopify certification for the Shopify App Store, which is the highest distinction for an application, which basically means also that it can be easily integrated. You can see here some of the CMSs and some of the email tools that we are currently integrated in. Of course, we do offer a trial for the solution. And again, what is super important is that during this trial, in principle, you land on our second very important principle, which is transparency. I think the fact that everyone is kind of over attributing makes people maybe lose some of the trust that they have in these things, right? So if you sum up your revenue from Meta with your revenue from Google, with your revenue from the email provider, with your revenue from the referral scheme that you have, you will find out that you're much richer than you actually are. But it's not true, right? So if you
Yeah.
that is not the real sum. So that's why we're focusing a lot on transparency. We have a direct attribution model, meaning that we will only show, you have here a small snippet of our dashboard, we will only show revenue there for the product that was discovered through Accurate and purchased afterwards, right? So if no assists, no indirect sales, no nothing is there, it's just very precise, and we actually do this at order level, so you can see in each order from which touch point. So if you have a cross-sell on the cart, for example, you will see this item was added from cross-sell on cart. So these are the two very important pillars for us: transparency and ease of installation. And of course, they don't help a lot unless you actually have results, right? So let's talk for just a few minutes about results. So I already mentioned we work with a lot of brands already, usually high growth brands. The main things that we impact are the conversion rate. Yeah. So of course now I mentioned earlier that you can select different types of widgets, right? And some widgets focus more on conversions, like alternative items, and some widgets will focus more on the average order value, which is the second KPI that we're actually also tracking. For example, a cross-sell or an upsell widget with items that are similar but slightly more expensive or more feature-rich. So you can see here just a few of the examples that that we have. We do A/B tests, quite a lot of them, and in principle, like in terms of average, we're actually increasing the revenue per user, which is some sort of a North Star metric because it also uh, takes into consideration conversion rate and average order value. Okay, it doesn't look at customer lifetime value, but it's still quite comprehensive. We have managed to increase the revenue per visitor by around 8 to 12%. So this is kind of a metric. Every visitor that comes in leaves with your shop more money, which is what I hope you are also looking to achieve. One thing that I didn't get to add here, it's actually a pretty cool example. We just launched a case study yesterday with Pursuit, and this is a Shopify store. They were already using our solution and they added the smart bundle functionality. What I mentioned earlier, you have two items that you can add both with one click into the cart, and they have increased the number of items per basket by 9% just from that one widget on the product pages. So doing it smart, using AI to do the heavy lifting gets you these kinds of results. I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to take too much time. Um,
Thank you so much, Tudor, for the presentation of Accurate. Yeah, showing you said something that actually was very important to me, which was when someone gets a newsletter and they see some products in there like you may also like. We're very heavily focused on email automation and personalization through email. So this really hits home, and I've seen it work, and I've seen the power of this type of personalization. And when I open an email and I see some products, and then I go to the website and they're got out of stock, or I see completely different products on my you may also like slider over there, that tends to break the experience. And we live in a world today in which everybody is using LLMs. Not everybody, but a lot of people are using LLMs and AI and AI assistants. And a lot more people in 2, 3, 4 years from today are going to have their own phones be their AI assistants and, to some extent shop for them. But for the people that really want to make a purchase and want to have a personalized experience, they're going to have to go to a store and get that personalized experience and personalized help. Uh, when I get to that store, if I'm not going to see products that I really like and that fit me, I'm most likely gonna leave and go to another store that can actually show me a personalized experience, because not seeing the products that I like is most likely going to be the job of the AI assistant that's most likely going to actually do a pretty good job in showing me the products that I like, but it's never going to have the amount of knowledge that the stores themselves are going to have. So this is going to be absolutely mandatory in terms of what stores will need to have product personalization.
And if
Uh,
I can just add to that, these kinds of solutions were traditionally, until like 5 years ago or even 3 years ago, they were extremely expensive,
yeah,
right? So this was the kind of thing that you would expect to see on Amazon, on Zara.com, on really, really big websites that are affording to use such tools. One of the things that we did was also to focus on the cost efficiency of the models that we use, and we're able to bring that kind of technology at basically 99 euros a month, right? So
yeah,
it's a tremendous shift. Like 5 years ago, most e-commerce retailers would, okay, maybe they would think about it, they would like it, but it would have been totally out of reach. And now
correct.
you can even free trial such solutions. Yeah, if you would have told an e-commerce manager 10 years ago that they can free trial an AI personalization engine, they would have probably not believed you, and would have probably not been true. But you can do it today, yeah, which is, I
And
think it's a great leap forward.
the free trial would have costed 3 months of implementation and 30,000 US dollars most likely
Exactly.
in order
Yes.
to get a free trial.
Yeah.
what you're saying is very powerful. And I remember 2015, I was working with a client in the US, quite big, and they had four data scientists, a tool that they were paying about $200,000 per year. In total, the data science team was costing them more than $500,000 a year. And I was doing email marketing for them, and they were their data scientists were sending me a report, which was always too late, so I couldn't use it anymore because everything was very seasonal, holidays, and so on. It was interesting information, but I'm able to get much more than that today by simply using something like ChatGPT. So what we have today, what not we, but what our clients, what our store owners have in their pockets today is solutions that years ago would have cost a fortune to actually have, completely out of reach for any SMBs. And Accurate just goes to show it's one of those solutions. I remember product personalization, merchandising solutions, we were calling them at that point in time. And just implementation wise, it was tens of thousands of dollars for the implementation, and then monthly fees over $5,000 minimum for something
Yeah.
like that.
Because you said merchandising, if I can just add one tiny tiny extra thing. So I didn't mention it, but we have a super powerful merchandising engine. So if you have products categories that have higher margins or have higher availability, are part of a promotion or anything, they can be boosted. So you can basically make the website play to dance to your music beyond the AI capabilities. You can just push stuff up, down, and so on.
Push the products that you want to push basically
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, end of stock, end of life products, anything. You can make it work the way you want.
I think we're gonna get back to that when in the end when we're gonna have the panel, because this is really interesting. But right now, Tudor, thank you for the presentation. We are going to move on to our third speaker and solution provider, which is Luca Borani from ZipChat. Luca?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Stefano, for having me here. So something that I believe everybody experience in the 24 hours, even for me, like 30 minutes probably, is talking to an LLM. Probably you ask questions to ChatGPT, you ask questions to Perplexity, Gemini, whatever, because that's how the world evolves. When we start using the internet, we're just either engaging with website, clicking some stuff, or we were just searching on Google for some information. But the reality is that everything changed now, and people, even when they go shopping, they just come up with so many very interesting and even fun questions about what they have on their page. And this question, unfortunately, they might turn into doubts, what we call last minute doubts. There are lots of researches that tells that more than one out of two people actually abandon a purchase because they come up with some idea with some last minute doubts, and they end up not purchasing because these doubts basically stop them from purchasing. So basically what we did was creating the ability for websites and brands to talk automatically at scale, anytime, any language with their customers. So connect and create this kind of connection that was something very, usual for customers. They were going to an offline shop, talking to the seller, talking to the guy in the shop, the assistant, and ending up purchasing at 30, 40, even 50% conversion rates. But then that online, this got completely lost. But now, thanks to the AI taking over all over the place, we could develop a conversational AI agent specifically built for e-commerce. There are lots of conversational tools, lots of chatbot, lots of chats out there. But most of them are built for like the generic public, the generic use case. You can add to whatever, and they will never perform as well as something built specifically for a specific use case. And that's what we wanted to do. That's why our only use case is e-commerce. At the moment, we work with more than 600 brands, from small, let's say, local stores and brands to international multi-billion-dollar companies selling worldwide. Doesn't really matter. The beauty of our solution is that you can install it very fast and go live. Doesn't matter how big is the size of your catalog or the volume of traffic you actually drive to your website. The beauty of conversational commerce is that allows you to handle lots of kind of conversation, both the pre-sale and post-sale conversation. And by automating those, you don't only sell more, because of course you can, intercept and automate the answer to these doubts we are talking about, but you can also automate lots of post-sale conversation that actually cost you money, not only in direct cost when it comes to, hiring a sales team, but also in an indirect cost when it comes to managing the team, training the team. Somebody leaves and you have to hire a new person. So all of this makes your business operation very hard. And as Stefan was mentioning at the beginning, being right now the acquisition cost very high, it means also your margins are running tight. So wherever you can save money without destroying what's the quality, and that's the beauty of conversational AI right now. That it's very high quality, very human oriented, very empathic compared to the AI of 2 years ago. And I can say this with a little bit of shame, because when we started 2.5 years ago, the AI was good, but you could still feel it was AI. Right now, most of the conversation are just amazing. I mean, we have customers sending us a screenshot of people emailing just the brand just to say, or sending a DM on Instagram, just saying thank you to Marco from the chat. The Marco from the chat doesn't even exist. It's actually an AI agent from ZipChat. So that's just very, very fun. As I mentioned, the beauty of how we wanted to develop the product, and then totally align with what Tudor said, is that it must be very, very fun, simple to implement. There's lots of legacy solution out there, lots of solutions that have been on the market forever. They just had to push the AI narrative inside their product. They were not built as an AI solution because investors were complaining that they were not as cool as the new startups or stuff like that. But because of this, their onboarding processes and signing contracts and whatever takes literally weeks or even months. We got very bad comments about some competitors. That was crazy. The beauty of ZipChat is that regardless of and the catalog and so on, you can literally go live very, very fast, and can be as fast as 20 minutes or a couple of days. It's a very huge brand. For huge brand, I mean 1.5 2 million SKUs plus. This can take a couple of days to make sure everything is perfectly the AI is perfectly trained. But for whatever other store, it can take like 20 minutes, 1 hour, or even less. So as soon as you install ZipChat on your store, for example, you can install on Shopify with one click by installing the Shopify app. We have more than 100 5-star reviews. You can check by yourself. I mean, everything I'm saying, you can find it basically in the reviews. Basically what happens, ZipChat will create the knowledge base. The brand knowledge base is basically the brain of ZipChat. So all the information about your products, your policies, your collection, your use cases, manuals, everything will go inside this knowledge base. The second part is going to be prompt the tool in a way that can achieve your goals. What does it mean? Instead of building complex, super boring, super easy to break, unscalable flows or workflows, that it's something, I've been using this, as I told you at the beginning, I've been in online marketing forever at this point. All the tools, make you build this crazy workflow that always break when you don't want them to break. And whatever thinking you're making, about, this tree logic is going to go here, what if, blah, 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 it's never going to be as complete or as perfect to cover all the different scenarios. And there's going to be always scenarios where some customer will just complain. And that's why every time somebody hears we do a chatbot, they are like, oh, chatbot sucks. Chatbots are so boring. That's the reality, because all these tools that were built before the AI revolution were all tree-based, root-based, very, very difficult to handle. And the beauty of ZipChat is that you just prompt what you want it to happen. You just give the entry point, you just give the output, and the AI will adapt each single conversation to the user behavior, to the user questions, to the user information. In this way, the conversation will feel natural again. It's like when you were a kid and were going to the shop to buy milk for your mother, and the shopper was telling you, "Oh, hi, Marco, you want also some bread because your nonna, your grandmother loves this kind of bread, and today's Sunday." So this is the kind of conversation and relationship you can build again with your customer. It's not something you could do before. The moment you can deploy ZipChat as a bubble chat on your store, like classic chatbot, or it can be, you can see live on zipchat.ai, which is our website. There is an Ask AI bar in the middle. This is, let's say, a devolution of the chat bubble you can put on the classic bottom right corner. You can deploy it inside WhatsApp, both to automate customer inquiries when they are inbound, or to run outbound campaigns. So you can select, specific segments, especially now for Black Friday. It's very useful. We're seeing lots of campaigns there. You can run abandoned cart campaigns, again, not in an aggressive email type campaign, but just imagine something like, it's Luca from whatever is the brand name. I just noticed you left in the car this T-shirt. I don't know. Did you have any question about that? Can I help you with something? And in this kind of approach, it's not like a super pushy marketing, sales, give 50% off if you come back in 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. It's a way to let people conversate on a channel where they used to conversate, which is in this example, WhatsApp. And you can just, from ZipChat, selling something like, if somebody's complaining about the price, you can create on the spot a coupon code and provide 10% off. If somebody is complaining about shipping times, upgrade them for free to fast shipping, or whatever is the use case. You prompt it, and ZipChat will allow, we will do it, which is something that nobody was really used to do before. And the third channel is emails. Everybody can add a chatbot to the website, chat bubble, whatever, but still there are going to be customers that will be looking for your support at whateverbrand.com to write an email, to open a ticket. And also when you run a marketing campaign from Klaviyo or from whatever software, these emails, somebody will reply to those. So if you want, you can have your human team handle this, meaning lots of long hours before a reply or a solution for the customer, bad experience, or you can have ZipChat immediately reply in any language within a few minutes, providing a beautiful experience. And yes, of course, there's going to be a few situations, a specific situation you don't want the AI to handle, or sometimes the AI, if it's not been properly trained, it might not be able to handle that situation. No problem. This is going to be escalated to humans. And this right now, across all the board, across all our clients, happens less than 7% of conversation. Of course, our goal is to work day after day, week after week, month after month, to take this 7% as low as we can, in a way that one day, hopefully, eventually, we're going to be as close as possible to 100%. Another 2 channel will go out in the next few weeks. I don't have an ATA from the dev team. That's the problem with marketing, business, and developers. Developers are always a little bit slower than we actually would like on a business side. We're going to go live also on Instagram and Messenger. Of course, as we were mentioning before, this platform, they make no prisoners. They raise the CPMs every year, so it's very expensive. But still, since you're spending so much on this platform, lots of customers are probably texting your brand. And there are a few scenarios there. Some people, some brands are not even replying, or just putting some, custom message saying, "I'm sorry, we don't cover this channel because it's too much effort." And also there's lots of spam, so it kind of makes sense. Or they have very robotic bots, like the ones we mentioned earlier. Or worst case scenario, they have somebody keeping an eye on the channel, but it takes just like 2 days to reply. So just imagine all this conversation having an AI that it's fully trained on your products, your brands, that knows your customers, knows anything about what you're selling, handling this conversation and converting these users into satisfied customers. That's the 2 channels we are adding, and then at some point also the voice channel will be there. As I mentioned, the beauty of ZipChat is that it's able to accomplish tasks, to do things. So that's why we never talk about features, we talk about agentic abilities. Agentic abilities, it means that it can do things also into other systems you can integrate into ZipChat in order to perform certain action. And it's going to be fully independent, ZipChat, in deciding, of course, following your guardrails or guidelines, to take those action in order to accomplish your goal. One example I mentioned earlier in the WhatsApp conversation could be the create unique Shopify discounts. Of course, you don't want to offer 100% discount. That would be crazy, especially if you don't want to destroy your margins. So you can, of course, set up a limit and explain a certain rules. It can be like as many rules as you want. There's not a specific only rule. It can be if somebody comes to the chat and mention this influencer name, you can give 20%. Or since the maximum is 20%, you can haggle a little bit. You can negotiate. You can play, oh, I'm going to the boss to ask if I can give you a discount, 5%. The guy says, no, I want more. Okay, but you're killing me, 7%. And negotiate. I mean, you can literally do whatever you want with any tool. And any tool, as I mentioned, is promptable. I'm building personally an ability director on the website directory. There are like tens, and we kind of find out every day new abilities and new things Zipchat can do. Just because once you start prompting, the limit is the creativity. It's not what you want. It's not one toggle or stuff like that. But it's just basically what you can come up with your mind, and you can just tell Zipchat to do it. Generally speaking, what we see across our clients is that on average, the chat to sale conversion rate is above 16%, meaning that for 100 conversations starting, doesn't matter if it's a support conversation or it's a post-sale super conversation or pre-sale conversation. Zipchat converts on average above 16%. We have some brands that manage to keep training, iterate, provide correction to Zipchat responses in order to bring this number much, much higher, like closer to 40, 45%. But as soon as you start, you will be see probably something around 10 to 12%. And then that's the beauty of AI. AI is the first technology out there that compounds over time. From different perspective. Of course, the LLMs models that stays at the base keep improving over time. The number of data that are inside these models and inside the AI managing your store increases. So the AI of Zipchat keep learning what it's working for your website, what's selling most, what to say to customers in order to have them be happier, come back with a review, this kind of thing. So it keep improving. So over time, with these two, let's say, automatic waves of learning, plus the ability to provide correction to the replies, in order for you to always be able to tell Zipchat how to improve, Zipchat will increase the number of conversion rate you will see on the store, which is something pretty interesting. As I mentioned, we have a very low escalation percentage, but the goal is always to improve and to take this number as low as possible. First number we have to take down instead of up. And it's active 24/7, also on Christmas Day or whatever. It doesn't go on vacation. It's never sick, never had drama in personal life. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a personal life. Speaks any language. So again, this is another misconception. Most people think, okay, I'm selling only to Italy or I'm selling only to Spain. So why do I need multiple languages? But the reality is that thanks to globalization, there are expats, tourists, immigrants, whatever, in every country. And those people prefer 100% to talk in their own language, and this will give a big boost to the sales you can actually close. So
Yeah.
basically, Zipchat as a conversational channel, allows you to enable conversational channels and to have your brand actually talk to customers exactly how customers want to talk to brands right now. And of course, it works with any CMS. You can install the app on Shopify. That's two clicks, maybe. Yeah, one or two clicks. I don't remember. And on any other CMS, you just copy paste a line of code into the team, and it's gonna display and work. Doesn't matter which CMS.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Luca,
Yeah, thank you,
for
Stefan.
presenting ZipChat. It is a wonderful service. We're using it with several clients, some bigger, some smaller, and everything that Luca just said is very much true because we see the actual effects of ZipChat, the bot. And I want to say one thing just to add to this. If COVID did a lot of bad to this world, to the e-commerce world. If we're going to be sticking just to this, it increased costs, advertising costs. But something that lots of companies and people don't know is that it hurt the consumer confidence. There's so many case studies out there because during COVID, a lot of e-commerce businesses appeared overnight. Most of them drop shipping, didn't have inventory, didn't have warehousing or customer support. But the confidence, especially in new brands, dropped tremendously after COVID because you were placing an order, there was nobody there to speak to. There was no order actually getting processed. Maybe you were getting a refund after a month and a half. So having the only way to bring confidence when we were doing usability audits for our clients, we were like, we got to have a telephone number on the site. You have physical stores and you don't have this all over your website. You should have it on your website. We need to show people that if they want to, they can call us, they can call you, they can email you to increase the conversion rate. With ZipChat, you're able to have that. Everybody was concerned that, oh, but I don't have people who are gonna, stay on the phone or respond to emails in real time. I don't want. A lot of people, clients were saying, I don't want people to call us or to email us. Well, maybe that worked until 2020, but today, and especially in 2026 and moving forward, having good customer support is going to make the difference between a company that exists in 2027 or not. We strongly believe that. We only have a couple more minutes to go. So there were three questions here that I wanted us to address. So, what AI innovation will shape 2026? And if one of you guys wanna take this question and answer it, um, we can.
I
I'll
believe
let.
every software needs to become fully agentic. That's going to be the main thing in 2026. Every agentic uh, tool out there will properly become a software that is, I know it sounds weird, but the two words will fully merge, and all platforms that haven't used haven't adapt to this will just die. And the consequence will be that also e-commerce stores that will not do this will do the same. I remember like two years ago when we had our first, let's say, prototype MVP. People were complaining about the AI replies not being perfect. They knew the AI could not be there yet, and the question was, yeah, but I mean, the main sentence objection was, yes, but my human team can do and handle it much better. Now this objection doesn't exist anymore. Now there's lots of, let's say, panic we see in the market of people that want to start using a solution like us, or most likely the solution of Octavian and Tudor as well. And they're desperately looking for them to understand how to implement them, but still they don't really know how to do it because they saw something on LinkedIn or some YouTube gurus showing super complex stuff, workflows, images, systems, just to do some engagement farming, and they think all of this is going to be super crazy. Just think about all these N8 workflows you can see on LinkedIn. Everybody's an expert there. Those things are not mention that you can implement a solution in one click and it's super fast. And of course, it knows better. ZipChat as well. That's the reality, and everything is going to be super fast and easy. So brands that don't adapt these will definitely be left behind.
Got it. How can online stores implement AI effectively? I wanna say one thing here. I've been working in e-commerce since I was in college in 2010. I've worked on Magento, WooCommerce, OpenCart, PrestaShop, Wix, BigCommerce, even some local SaaS solutions as well, and even custom platforms. I strongly believe that being on a CMS that integrates easily with marketing services natively, like Tudor's solution, which years ago, 3 years ago, 6 years ago, it would have taken months to implement something like this, and a very big paycheck for the implementation. And now you can implement it in a minute. But it's the same with CMSs. You have to be on revolutionary solutions and systems, modern systems, in order to be able to actually take advantage of the AI evolution or the AI revolution. Shopify being one of them. That's why we actually did decide, make this strategic decision in 2019 to focus entirely on Shopify, where we actually have integration into ChatGPT right now with OpenAI. Again, groundbreaking stuff. Um, and the final question is, what misconceptions stop brands from adopting AI? Octavian, Tudor, do you want to take this?
I think I can say a few words about this. So basically, in our case, the misconceptions are that AI is wrong, especially for the content side, and this is what we are trying to teach people and implement that into our own solution as well. Because yes, AI is wrong in many situations, but this is why, as Luca said earlier, you need guardrails, you need rules for it to respect it, and especially for the content, because um, uh, AI is very artistic in some cases when generating content, for example. We work with very specific content at sometimes because let's say the most artistic part is the description part where you can go haywire and start doing some artistic nice things, but everything aside of that is very deterministic and strict. So um, we need to train everything that AI does to fit inside some rules that are respected all the time. And this is what we do with Diver. But yes, customers are really stressed about this, especially in our field, because
Mhm.
they are using ChatGPT and they think that it's so easy to generate content with ChatGPT. But yes, it's with ChatGPT, for example, is very difficult to be strict at the end of the day. So a tool like a platform like ours is solving the problem in the right way, let's say.
Perfect.
If I can
Good.
maybe just
Yeah.
add, not a misconception, but something that I feel it doesn't come up often enough. It feels like everybody's kind of going haywire a little bit and installing everything they see. Um, I think we should not forget the value of first-party data. And I think whenever you try to look at something, if it's ZipChat, Diver, Accurate, or whatever else, you should spend at least a few minutes to understand what data they grab from you, how they process it, and whether they are trustworthy. Because I feel like in this craze of installing any AI, like we need AI, click install everywhere. And as we together we established it's easier than ever. You don't need 5 months to install it. You need one click, and the data goes away. You have to check a little bit who you're giving the data to, because there's so much smoke and mirrors in this space that yeah, it's good to just double check. It's good to test. I think testing is good, but don't forget your data is probably one of the most valuable assets, and you also hold a responsibility towards PII data that you are actually holding.
Thank you so much for that. And just for everyone to know, there's no payment coming from any of these guys for being here for these services. We put together this webinar uh, because these are solutions that we are using, and these are solutions that our clients are using, and they work. And what we want is for everybody in the e-commerce community to use solutions that are trustworthy. Because, like Tudor said, there are so many solutions out there that just have the word AI in them or domain.ai just for the sake of it. But in the end, only the only thing they have is an integration via, API with OpenAI, and that's enough. But they don't really do much. They just capture data, they mess things up, and they keep clients hostage. So, Tudor, Octavian, Luca, thank you so much for joining us today. And to everybody who's going to be seeing this recording and participated, thank you for attending. We hope 2026 is going to be a fantastic year for e commerce in general and for everyone. And thank you. See you soon.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for having us.
Thank you,
Thank
Stefan,
you.
for having
Bye.
us.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.